St. Clair College previous OCAA men's volleyball matches, your St. Clair Saints take on the Mohawk Mountaineers. Now, guys, please rise to your order and move your hats to the players on that floor.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Windsor, Ontario, here on the campus of St. Clair College for We Digital's presentation of OCAA men's volleyball. It's the Mohawk Mountaineers visiting the St. Clair Saints. My name's Hudson Hine. Thank you guys for joining us here on We Digital on this Saturday afternoon. We're glad that you guys could join. Please like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Helps us out a lot. We got a great matchup here between the Mohawk Mountaineers and the St. Clair Saints. Now, Mohawk got off to a very early good start of the season. St. Clair is still trying to find their footing, but this is a very young team with Mohawk and a very experienced team on the other side with the St. Clair Saints. Going over to that Mohawk Mountaineers lineup, see, we got a lot of younger players. Benjamin Puskas, Josh Taylor, Dean Zakari, Jesse Smith, Brecken Morrison, Alex Jurak, and Andrew Majoras rounding out that starting lineup for the Mohawk Mountaineers. Now we're going to go over to that St. Clair lineup, talking about a lot of experience. Arthur Richard, River Ruiz, Calvin Kett, Zach Walls, Nick Kwiatkowski, former MVP Cale Wilkinson, and Jonas Sertosi will be rounding out the St. Clair Saints lineup. Talked to Coach Sean Rome before the game. He had mentioned that he just wants to emphasize synergy. He wants all 6 players on the court to be on the same page, because when he feels like everyone is doing the same job, then they can beat anybody. I mean, they defeated the #1 seed Georgian in the East last season and made a run all the way to the gold medal game while coming in as an 8th seed in that playoffs. I mean, this team is capable of almost anything, but they get in the way of themselves. They trip on their own footing. Can they turn that around in this game? We got Arthur Richard at the stripe, 3rd-year player out of Woodstock, Ontario, ready to get this kicked off here from the Sportsplex in Windsor, Ontario. And we're off. One that probably shouldn't have been handled by Mohawk, but nonetheless, safe return. Calvin Kett. Kwiatkowski sets up the outside hit. Too hard to handle. St. Clair opens up the scoring. Jurak just couldn't handle that one. A little bit of a dead zone ball. And this is what St. Clair needs. I mean, look, when Kwiatkowski gets that good set right to Wilkinson, I mean, unstoppable duo. That's going to make Arthur Richard return to the line. 1-0 St. Clair, and into the net. Another word that I exchanged with 7-year coach Sean Rome before the game. He had mentioned that service errors is just something that's held them back this season. I mean, they had 21 in their first game. Lost that one in straight sets. And last week, had a very close game against Fanshawe. There was 16 in that one. Nonetheless, 1-1 game, handled by Wilkinson. Kwiatkowski outside to Kett, very far, but he gets the tip off the hands. That one's going to go St. Clair's way, as they put that lead back to 1 now. Typically not ideal for Wilkinson to be the first receive. Nonetheless, it's going to bring Jonas Sertosi to the line. 5th-year player to Bell River, Ontario. A little bit too far. That's going to help Mohawk even this one up, 2-2. Now looking at this Mohawk lineup, you're noticing not a single player is starting that has 4 years of experience. It's all, I mean, they got a couple third years, a lot of first years, and a couple of second year players. I mean, when I talked to Coach Brad McCure before the game, he had mentioned that they don't even know who's going to emerge as a star for this team. It's just going to translate as the season goes on. As Zach Walls looked risky there for a second, but he knew what he was doing. Great play there on the defensive side by Mohawk, but Zach Walls playing a game of deception. That's what he does best. Making sure the job is done and done well. Doesn't need to look pretty, just needs to get done. Just gonna bring Nick Kwiatkowski to the line. That one goes far. All 3 points so far for the Mountaineers coming off of St. Clair's service errors. Gonna need to clean this one up if they want a good, easy win. Nonetheless, that is gonna bring Jesse Smith to the line out of Guelph, Ontario, first-year player. Richard outside. Kwiatkowski handled. A little bit far. And that one's just got a little bit too much heat on it to the outside. Not an ideal set there. Just gonna have to adapt. Josh Taylor, you see, just a little bit too far to that back corner. Finds himself with a parallel hit to the outside. Ooh, and that one goes a little bit low, finds its way over, a little bit of a lift, and Kwiatkowski, a little bit of a miscommunication. Mohawk gets himself their first points that's not done off of a service error. 4-4 is your score. Alex Jurek. Third-year player to St. Catharines, Ontario. Kwiatkowski, Ket, outside, good handle by Jurek. Solid hit. Scramble here for the Saints. Richard's just got to get this one over safely. Outside hit, Mohawk. Pressure right now. Walls doing that deception. Gonna set up Walls. Quickly over. Good rally going on here. Ket. Kwiatkowski. Walls. Perfect. Finds his spot on the floor. And it's a 1-point lead for the Saints now. 5-4 is your score. I mean, Walls, you never know how quick he's going to hit that one over the net. I mean, sometimes it's long, and sometimes he just has to get that one over as quick as possible. I mean, Mohawk definitely wasn't ready for it. So he finds himself at the service stripe. Outside, going to need to be a scramble. As Ket Sertosi, a little bit of a onside joust. Solid hit, Walls. Bamboozled by that one. Josh Taylor with power. Nets this one up at 5. That's going to bring Dean Zakari to the stripe for the first time tonight. Third-year player out of Burlington, Ontario. Solid serve. Kwiatkowski, no one's there. I mean, that's a byproduct of a pretty good serve there by Zakari. I mean, the team had to scramble. Setup wasn't ideal for the Saints, and that's how you're going to capitalize on points if you're Mohawk. They won their last game at 3-1 up against Sheridan. Goes a little bit long, almost catches that back line, but judge calls that one out of bounds. We're knotted up at 6. Calvin Ket up at the line. New addition to our broadcast. We have that net cam going on. Going to get some really good shots, maybe some good replays off that today. As you see right there. Going to let you guys at home do a little bit of officiating. Ket digs out one off the floor. Kwiatkowski outside. Richard! That one lands. He knew exactly what he was doing. Found his spot on the floor. A little bit of vacancy. St. Clair back in the lead. 6-7. My bad. Kelvin Ket finds himself at the stripe. I know you guys have heard enough of that this week. Josh Taylor, and it's blocked. Jonas Sertosi with force. Guys, it's no longer 6-7. It's 6-8 now. Calvin Kett at that back line. So in this first set, a lot of intensity so far. Both teams seem to be locked in, trying to get to an early lead here. Taylor, back line. No one knew what to do. Looked like that should have been Calvin Kett's ball, but a little bit of a late reaction. Mohawk trying to shorten that lead right now. Kett knew that was his assignment, but, you know, heard a little bit of footsteps off of his left. Decided maybe this isn't for me. Good setup. Trying to get myself out of the way of that one. Arthur Richard to that back line. Maybe shouldn't have been touched. Outside, and that lands. Solid hit from that outside by Alex Jurek. Out of Loyola CSS High School. Giris sends that one wide. Saints climbing back to that lead. It's going to be Arthur Richard up to the line. 6'2" out of Woodstock, third-year player. Let's see who will reach double digits first. In this opening set, and it's going to be St. Clair. Very solid serve there by Arthur Richard. He was one of the best service players in that first game. We watched them last week win their first game at home, and they looked pretty comfortable. It's been struggles on the road. I mean, they lost to Fanshawe. Close sets in every single game last week. That one falls wide. The lead is 3 now for the Saints. Arthur Richard trying to keep this streak at the line going. He's been very solid so far in this opening set. Good serve, handled by Ho. Richard keeps that one alive. Calvin Kett sees to get one this over. Ruiz. Back line, blocked. Too much to handle. You might have got 2 hands on that. Loving the reaction is that St. Clair bench. I think it was Wilkinson that got the block there. One of the top block specialists in the OCAA this season. Leads the team with blocks. Another name is Jonah Sertosi right there with him. Both of them top 5 in blocks in the OCAA right now. Little tiny joust, but Kwiatkowski had the advantage as it leaned more towards his side. I mean, if you're Mohawk, you got to execute. Setting up your bigs along the outside. Making sure it's not too far across that net. For players like Kwiatkowski who don't specialize at the net, but he can do everything. We've seen it time and time again throughout the seasons. He's no stranger to the OCAA. A little far, is it savable by Kett? And he takes out the back. He takes out the guardrail. And Kett does it again. Defense. Oh, third time is a charm though for Mohawk. They found the error, they corrected it. Josh Taylor able to finally scuff up a point. As the streak for St. Clair ends, 13-9 is your score. Let's find Brecken Morrison at the line out of Oakville, Ontario. Right into the net. And the lead is extended to 5 again. We're going to get some substitutions. Offensive set, Walls comes in for Ruiz. Jonas Satosi trying to make this lead a little bit more comfortable. Ho digs that one off the ground. Outside, off of the hands of Walls. Misjudged that one. A little bit too much lean. I mean, he just overjumped it. He had Sertosi out on that outside line, but it just came up to Walls, overjumping it, leaning a little bit too far to that out of bounds line, leaving the open gap in the middle. Speaking of open gap, St. Clair just lets that one go. As it's a service error, almost as if the point didn't exist. 15-10 in favor of St. Clair. Kwiatkowski returns to the stripe. Solid serve to that back line, just too far. Spoke a little bit too soon. Here's Jesse Smith at the line now at Guelph, Ontario. First-year player. Into the net. We're going service error for service error right now. Cale Wilkinson, former MVP of the league. Now when you talk about force and you talk about power, this guy's got it all. Maybe a little bit too much there, but shot it directly at Josh Taylor. Backline Kwiatkowski. And that one doesn't find the inside of the stripe. Lands just outside. Good intention, poor execution there by the Saints. And Mohawk hanging with him. Now you could say that he closed off a lane there, making it hard for Richard to find the inside of the line, but nonetheless, Saints got to execute there. Ruiz off the floor. Ket into the antenna. Saints not able to return that one. And the lead is slowly evaporating for the Saints. 16-13 is your score. Alex Jurak looking to tighten up that lead. Solid serve. Kwiatkowski. Ket. Same story as last time, trying to pick his spot on that outside line. Mohawk doing a very good job defensively, trying to limit their vision. I mean, they're almost everywhere when they're trying to block it, making it very hard for these Saints attackers to pick their spot on the floor. And he's at the line, Margias. Timeout, Saints. St. Clair needing to regroup as they had a very comfortable 6-point lead, slowly turning into a 1-point lead. Mohawk climbing right back into this one. Margia's playing a great game so far. Let's take a look at those standings right now. Cambrian sitting comfortably at the top at a 3-0 lead above Conestoga. Fanshawe, we're looking at Mohawk right now. 2-1. Very good win last week against Sheridan. You see them at the bottom of the standings. But St. Clair unable to get any wins on the road this season, falling to Fanshawe first. And then another loss the week prior. They beat the Royals. They did beat the Royals, but couldn't find a way for them to get a win in their first game of the season. And that was at Mohawk. So this is their second time playing. Mohawk, once again, an inexperienced team, but learning. We had mentioned before that it was just players that we didn't know who was going to emerge. And it seems like they're finding their footing right now. Loving the looks of Josh Taylor so far. Dean Zakari playing his role. And Alex Jurak, who we're going to find at the service stripe right now. Third-year player out of St. Catharines, Ontario. Wilkinson. And that one goes just a little bit too far. Very easy one to handle there by Dean Zakari. As we're knotted up at 16 now. Jurak trying to keep this streak at the service stripe going. As they found a way to climb back into this game. We're knotted up. Ruiz. Kwiatkowski outside Richard. Oh. Blocked at the line. Richard everywhere on that point. St. Clair right where they want to be, back in the lead. Zach Walls to the line now. So you saw Richard almost everywhere on that play. And that's his role on this team. He can do almost everything. Assists, digs, and sets. Also deadly at the line. Richard. Kwiatkowski. Sartosi didn't get a full palm on that one. Good block at the line, but a little bit of a missed jump. Sartosi could have timed that one better. Mohawk doing exactly what they wanted, having their way on that point. As you're going to see on the replay, Morrison, a little bit of a misdirection on that set. Looked like he was going to go light, but went just to that outside point, right where Jurak likes to be. Kwiatkowski, Cat, blocked at the line. Mohawk bench loving that one. Josh Taylor, all over the place for the Mountaineers today. Gonna bring Dean Zakari. 2 consecutive points for him at the service stripe. Wilkinson off the floor. Richard and another block. Back to back. St. Clair might be getting a little bit readable right now, and another timeout. Coach Sean Rome needing to regroup. Started off so well. But you see Mohawk right now playing with their food. As Mohawk outscoring the Saints in these past 10 points, 8-2. Coach Sean Rome not looking pleased. He had mentioned before the game, he knows when his team can play better than the other team. This is a very inexperienced team in the Mohawk Mountaineers. But they just seem to have this chemistry that the Saints need to find. Finding their footing is the story for the Saints this season, because when all 6 players on the floor have this synergy, then they can play to anybody's standard. But they can also play down to anybody's standard. I mean, Mohawk doing everything right in this second half of this first set, as they lead by 2 right now. 6 points is that target score to claim this vital first set here at the Sportsplex for OCAA men's volleyball. My apologies. We're just about set to get underway to the final stretches of this opening set. Dean Zakari trying to help his team put this one away. That one finds the outside right stripe. Out of bounds. St. Clair trying to capitalize off of this luck, because sometimes it pays to be lucky than good. Calvin Kett trying to tie this one up right now. Maybe better off not touched. Solid hit, dead zone ball. Ruiz unable to handle that on the right outside shoulder. Deadly strike right there by Brecken Morrison. St. Clair talking this one over, making sure everybody knows their assignment right now. 20-18 is your score. As this is Adrian Delos Reyes, his first substitution, and he is the only 4th-year player on this Mohawk roster. Talking about experience, Coach Brad McClure had mentioned that a lot of people learn from this player. Has a lot more experience than them, and he brings a lot of energy to the squad. Again, 4th-year player out of Burlington, Ontario. Delos Reyes. Richard. Outside, Matt Babineau we're seeing for the first time tonight. Reyes. Outside Taylor, light touch. Sertosi. Because they just have to get that one over. Babineau blocked at the line. Miscommunication once again. Just needing to see that everyone understands what their assignment is here. Another substitution, Sean Kennedy from Victoria, British Columbia, finds himself in the game. And no one up at that front left point. Once again, miscommunication seeming to be a theme in the back half of this first set. St. Clair going to need to go on a run right now, but Mohawk has all of the momentum. Again! Coach Rome made a substitution. Kennedy and Babineau came in. You see Walls on the bench right now. And that one, outside line. St. Clair needed that to kill this Mohawk momentum. Arthur Richard. Important point here. Great serve. Mentioned before, one of the best players from the line for the Saints roster. Taylor just having to get that one over. Outside Wilkinson, deadly, dug up there by Zakari, and Saints catching a break there. Timeout, Mountaineers. Seeing what Coach Brad McClure can dial up. We got OCAA women's volleyball right after this one following. It's going to be the Mohawk Mountaineers and the St. Clair Saints once again. Two very good teams so far. Can't wait to see you guys there. 3 o'clock is the estimated start time here on We Digital. Coach Rome trying to get his players to muster up a little bit of a comeback. Only 2 points needed for the Mohawk Mountaineers. As we see that Mohawk Mountaineers women's roster getting ready. They always help out the men's lineup in warm-ups. Very good energy. Seeing that they get along very well with that team, that's a very good. I mean, the bus rides, just the team meetings, the lunches, all of that. That's what plays into being a college athlete. The little things. And you know well when the St. Clair team is on the road, the women's team also spends a lot of time with them. Again, you can catch them at 3 o'clock here at the Sportsplex. Just getting underway out of this timeout. Arthur Richard. Great serve once again. Taylor. Deadly finding his spot on the floor. Right in front of Richard. More substitutions being made now. That's Cole Crowder. First time we're coming out of the game for him. Jurak comes in. Morrison looking to end this one. Tips off the net. Kennedy. Outside Wilkinson sails that one. Not what you want to see. Caught the outside of the hand. 25-20 is your score at the end of the first set. We're going to switch sides. Don't go anywhere. You're watching OCAA men's volleyball here on We Digital. Ontario here at the Sportsplex. Score is 1-0 in favor of the Mohawk Mountaineers, getting ready to kick off this second set. After switching sides, 20-25, favor of Mohawk Mountaineers in that first set. We'll get to some stats in a second, but for now, Brecken Morrison finds himself at the service stripe. And he no longer finds himself at the service stripe. 1-0 in favor of the Saints here in the second set. Kwiatkowski. Looking not to replicate what had happened with a lot of service errors in that first set. Great serve right there, though. Oh, a little bit of a missed timing on that jump. Jesse Smith wishes he might have jumped a little bit later. Also a little bit of a miscommunication there on the set. See here on the replay, good dig up off the floor by Ho. But yeah, a little bit of a missed timing, leaned a little bit too far to that right side. Falls in favor of the Saints, 2-0 here. It's Kwiatkowski, turns to the service stripe. Ho, off the floor. Taylor, ooh! Beautiful play there by Josh Taylor. He deceived everybody in the building. Watch this right here. Had everybody jumping, and then that light touch at the end. Exactly what they needed to get their first points of the set. Like it never happened, 3-1 into the net. You hate to see it. Such a great play, and then just routine stuff. Seems to be the fault that's going to hold both of these teams back. Someone's got to lose today. As that one finds the netting. As mentioned before, Nolan Comartin. First time calling his name today. Couple of substitutions, changing the roster around for the Saints. Seeing as they can change the story in the second set. Kwiatkowski outside, Richard, too long. 3-3. A lot of errors so far in the second set. Josh Taylor with the biggest play so far. Jesse Smith finds his way over. Playing safe on the service game now. Walls blocked. Good cover up by Comartin. Walls doing what he does best. That second touch strike finds that left seam. He doesn't need more than one. See, that's the initial block. But then finding that right seam. Put the ball exactly where he wanted to put it. He finds himself at the service stripe. That one lands. Service ace. So we're going to check a replay once again. Walls putting the ball exactly where he wanted it. Just did it on that serve, did it on the play before. Try to keep this streak going at the stripe. Another great serve, and that one finds the second deck of the stands. Fan not keeping that souvenir. 3 points in a row. And that's all Zach Walls right now. Once again, 3-serve streak for Walls. A little bit too much mustard on that one. Nonetheless, played his part. 3 for 1 for Zach Walls. As the score is 6-4. Jurek trying to shorten this St. Clair lead. Ruiz. Comartin. Outside Calvin Kett. Off the tip of the hands. Blocked. Right there by Sertosi. A little bit of a combination between Kett and Sertosi. As they capitalize there. Off the Mohawk. Miscommunication. Yeah, see, I think that was mostly Sertosi there, but Calvin Kett definitely affected the play. Shutting off that angle. Tips off the net. The set. Net violation. Got a little bit too fancy. St. Clair doubles up on Mohawk right now. We're going to see here on the replay. Yeah, you see a little bit of movement there on the net. Calvin Kett Looking to extend the St. Clair lead. A little bit of a floater, no spin on it. Great shot right over by Majiras. Out of Markham, Ontario, second-year player. Dean Zakari. Nice tattoos. Kwiatkowski can't handle that one. Ruiz had it off the floor, but great serve, honestly. Put it right where he wanted it. A little bit of a dead zone ball. Nonetheless, Zakari back at that service line. Outside hit. Ket had all the confidence in the world when he was putting that one over, but a little bit too soft. As Zakari keeping his streak at the line going, looking to tie this game right now. 3 consecutive points for the Mountaineers. Great serve once again, Kwiatkowski. Blocked. Sertosi. Brecken Morrison trying to play a little bit of his own game, but went right back from where it came. 9-7. Arthur Richard at the stripe now. Ooh, with power. Morrison. Blocked at the line, a little bit too predictable there. That one lands out of bounds. Proper communication between Ruiz and Comartin there. Arthur Richard remains at the stripe. Some beautiful serves here today by Arthur Richard. Taylor blocked at the line, keeps it alive, and that's going to be a lift. Too much palm on that. Couldn't quite grip it, but yeah, nonetheless, you see there. Arthur Richard trying to keep his streak going. Morrison. Outside for Taylor. Arthur Richard tried to do everything he could. But Josh Taylor knew exactly where he wanted to put that ball. He kind of just sent it right into that pile there. He knows that if he puts it in with force, it's got to go eventually. Majiras. A little bit too strong on that one. Falls right back in favor of the Saints. He'll sub out for Ho. Jordan Ho comes into the game, as well as Zach Walls. Sertosi, great serve, and it lands, ace. Oh, no, the outside ref had called it, but that one had been overruled by the head official. Sideline judge thought otherwise. Morrison. Kwiatkowski, outside Ket. Off the inside of the palm of Jordan Ho. Back to a 4-point lead here. Kwiatkowski back to service line. Kwiatkowski. Morrison. Outside a little bit. He didn't want to get it that way, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. As you'll see here, he probably didn't get the contact that he wanted. I mean, wanted to probably find a seam, but found a little edge of that inside ground. Taylor finds Ruiz. Calvin Ket, that one slightly outside. Got a good view of that. As the lead is now 2 for the St. Clair Saints. Had a 6-point lead in that first set. Very easily evaporated, as you see here on the replay. Calvin Ket, just a little bit too far. Richard Kwiatkowski, Walls. You never know how fast he's going to go. I think that's one of the best parts of his game and the best part of this St. Clair offense. Zach Walls always poses to be an offensive threat. See, you see that on the replay. You just never know if he's going to go quick or if he's going to go fast. I mean, he's mastered that. Comartin. Just outside. 14-12. Taylor, eyes on the ball until it went out. Smith serves. Kwiatkowski. Light hit. Scramble here for the Mountaineers. Blocked. And 2 left outsides. Couldn't get there in time. The lead is now 1 for the St. Clair Saints. As you'll see here, great set. Finds the inside of Wall's palm. Ruiz. Long hit to Richard. A little bit predictable. I mean, it hung in there for a little bit too long as well. Mohawk has found a way to tie this one up. And a little bit of a missed timing on the jump there as well. You want to be a little bit later. Light serve. Kwiatkowski. Walls. Ended up working in St. Clair's favor. Blocked. I think that was Richard getting a hand on that one. Lead is back to 1. Yep. The right hand of Arthur Richard. Could play almost anything. Not the tallest of the bunch, but sure has a tall presence. Walls. Kwiatkowski. Good defense there by the Saints. Outside, great defense in return by the Mountaineers. Good block. Majiris. Outside, blocked. Knotted up at 15 once again. Mohawk, they're never out of it. Amazing defense here by the Mohawk Mountaineers. Very composed for such a young group. Finding their way in the OCAA right now. Jurek. Good serve. Mohawk's going to get the advantage here. Outside. Small hit. A little risky there. Oh, great diving play by Jurek. Richard can't find it once again. It seems like St. Clair locating that outside boundary, and Mohawk has the lead now. As you'll see here, the set was good, but now St. Clair calling a timeout. Mohawk having a great reaction to that because they know they're pressing with momentum. Very similar to the first set, St. Clair starting off good, but they just find this pressure. For such an experienced group, you'd think that pressure doesn't get to these guys. As we look to our next scheduled volleyball game, 3 and 5, it's going to be the men and the women hosting the Niagara Knights. That's going to be on Saturday, November the 8th. You can catch that on We Digital or on the St. Clair YouTube channel. Once again, we want to thank you guys for joining us on this Saturday afternoon on We Digital. Love having you guys. Remember to like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Helps us out a lot. And maybe you'll remember to stumble into another St. Clair broadcast. 25-20 was the score. The first set started off St. Clair at 1 point, had a 6-point lead. In this set, they had a 5-point lead. Mohawk, right around this point, they took the lead. So we check in on that St. Clair women's team. Also some new faces that you'll see. But right now, it's all about the men's team. Can St. Clair get the job done here in this second set? Or can the momentum that the Mohawk Mountaineers have finish this one off? Number 17 himself, Alex Jurek. Looking to help them. Advantage, Mohawk, Morrison. Backline, Taylor finds the seam. A beautiful play, as it seems to be all Mohawk right now. Jurek try to continue his streak at the line. (17-15). Oh, wishes he didn't touch that one. That was going well over. Komartang, you could see a little bit of hesitation there. Either go for it or you don't. Watch this replay. Way long. No need to touch that one. Beautiful shot by our baseball and soccer commentator, Dan Dominguez, back there. Kwiatkowski. And they're going to say a net violation there. It was going a little bit long. You know, it wasn't what was planned, but when you can get points, you'll take it as you can get it. Substitutions now. Calvin Kettle come out of the game. Matt Babineau will also check in. Kwiatkowski. That's going to be Sean Kennedy into the game. He'll find himself at the service stripe. Once again, out of Victoria, BC. To any family who are watching, welcoming in anybody from outside of the province or in the province. If you're watching from Hamilton, anywhere, welcome to our broadcast. Kennedy outside, Babineau. Good recovery there by the Saints. Arthur Richard. Taylor. Outside, Jurek. Pretty good play. Has St. Clair scrambling. Arthur Richard, way too long. St. Clair wondering if it touched the hand, but I don't think it did. I think that one just went clean over. Tried to catch a replay there, but not going to be able to see that. Having some substitutions there. Jurek's going to come into the game. Played very solid in the second set. Dean Zakari. Kennedy outside Babineau. Blocked. That one lands out of bounds. Perhaps a little bit planned. Babineau going to have some words with the official here. All smiles, all smiles. That's the face of someone who got away with something. As Arthur Richard finds himself with the stripe. Been saying that one a lot tonight. That ball almost tried to decapitate our little referee over there. Nonetheless. Point for Mohawk. Has to get right out of the way. Gonna have Delos Reyes checking right back into the game. Komartang. Outside, Sertosi has it blocked and couldn't handle it. The lead is 4 for the Mountaineers right now. A lot of new faces so far for both teams. Starting lineups have been fractured. And we're seeing it right now, but the substitutes for both teams serving very well. Off the net. Never made it over. Timeout, St. Clair. The lead is 5. Loving what we're seeing. We'll check here on the replay. Yeah, that one just never made it over. St. Clair trying to stay composed right now, but it's all smiles around for the Mohawk Mountaineers, trying to close this game out. We had mentioned before that all of these Mohawk players are really just trying to find their footing right now, and it seems like as the season or even just the game progresses, you see all of these players just learning. They're very adaptable. I'm loving what I'm seeing about all these players. They're reading all of these tactics that St. Clair has, these quick hits, these 2-set hits. Nonetheless, St. Clair just needs to clean up on these errors. Mohawk has had a couple themselves. Check some of the stats from that first set. Gonna go over to those service errors. We got, oh my goodness, a lot for St. Clair. And a lot for Mohawk themselves as well. Actually, it was Mohawk that ended up having more. They had 7 in that first set. St. Clair ended up having 5. But it's been Mohawk who's been able to adapt, as we had mentioned before. Komartang. Kennedy with power. That one doesn't catch the inside of the line. Catching a break is the St. Clair Saints. Jordan Ho checks into the game. De Los Reyes checks out. Ruiz also checks out. Good serve. A little bit of a scramble, and that one's not going to make it over. Brecken Morrison didn't get the right angle off the palm. Sertosi. It's a make or break right now for the Saints. Off the floor, Morrison at that back line. Puts it exactly where he wants it. And Mohawk doing their job the way it was intended right now. So you see here on the replay, you see the way the Mohawk sets that up. It's almost like art. Brecken Morrison. The serve. That one might have gone wide again. Kennedy, a little bit of a joust to the line. Hard to handle, and that's going to be too many hits. A little bit of pinball going on. St. Clair, exactly what they were looking for. Matt Babineau finds himself at the line. Great serve. Look at that dig right there. Brecken Morrison, too far. And that was set up by a great serve by Matt Babineau. It's a timeout. St. Clair is starting to feel a little bit of momentum. Babineau's going to find himself at the stripe. I saw Matt's family trick-or-treating at my door last night. Had a great talk with Debbie and Dan Lafayette if they were watching at home. Not seeing them in the stands right now, but if you're watching at home, how's it going, guys? Great family. And great volleyball player as well, Matt Babineau. Hoping you guys all had a great Halloween last night. Hoping that there was a lot of life and great costumes in your guys' neighborhoods. I know I definitely did. Out in Tecumseh, Ontario. Right now, looking to finish off this second set. 23-21 is your score. Matt Babineau will return to the service stripe. As we're going to skip right into this one. Walls on right now. No Sertosi, no Wilkinson, no Kelvin Kett. Coach is trying to make some adjustments right now. Morrison outside Jurek. And that one catches a fingertip. Solid play there by Jurek. As we got set point now. Taylor just needs to get that one over safely. Kennedy outside. And they're going to call another tip. St. Clair staying alive in this one. Another substitution in for the Saints right now. Sahil Barwaj. Fifth-year player to Brampton, Ontario. Morrison. Outside, blocked. Oh, gets a little bit of fist on that one. Blocked at the line, St. Clair staying alive. The Bee Gees would be proud. Timeout being called by Mohawk. Looking to regroup. Getting his troops together to finish off this battle. But the war's not finished. We're still going to have another set after this, no matter who comes out on top. But momentum in favor of St. Clair right now, 23-24 is your score. You're watching OCAA men's volleyball here on Digital. We'll be back in about 30 seconds. As we mentioned before, welcome back. 24-23 is your score. Sahil Bardwaj at the line. looking to tie this one up. Taylor's going to sub out. Pretty surprising here. Keon Elke subbing into the game for him. One of the most important players for Mohawk right now, but just like Coach Brad McClure wants to, oh my goodness. That was close. Blocked, oh my goodness, and that's exactly what Mohawk needed. Solid play, so much going on in that set. I don't know if we could possibly get it in this timeout, but definitely a very interesting point. Dean Zakari puts that one away. 3-man block at the line, and that one lands inside Bardwaj. Laying out for that one. Mohawk up 2-0. You guys are watching OCAA men's volleyball here on We Digital. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Sportsplex here in Windsor, Ontario, on the campus of St. Clair College. My name's Hudson Nine. Thank you guys for joining us today on We Digital. Very good game so far, 25-20 in the first set, 25-23 in the second set. Mohawk with a little bit of a comfortable lead right now, but nothing's comfortable here in the OCAA. St. Clair looking to make a comeback. We have some pretty obvious roster changes right now. A lot of substitutions going on. We'll get to some of the second half stats here in a second. But for right now, we'll talk about the substitutions. As Mohawk opens up the scoring, capitalizing off of a service error. Right now, we're seeing some new faces on the floor. Brandon Wiebe, first time calling his name tonight. He's subbing on as he gets his first touch of the game. Walls finds a perfect spot on the floor, ideal for what St. Clair is going to need if they want to come back in this one. Brandon Wiebe at that back line, first-year player out of Wheatley, Ontario. Great serve. That's how you start your... Hey, and another play. Alaliwi. Shaban Alaliwi. New name we're also calling right now. First-year player out of Windsor, Ontario. That's how you kick it off. Brandon Wiebe sends that one into the net. 2-2 is your score. Now Mohawk, they have some new substitutions in as well. Cole Crowder's coming in, but they're just trying to end this game right now. Jesse Smith at the service stripe. Softly hit, no spin. Outside, that one's going to be blocked. Oh, they're going to call net violation. Misdirection there by Alaliwi. Zach Walls returns to the service stripe. 3-2 is the score. Make that 3-3. We're knotted up. Zach Walls subbing out. River Ruiz in the game from Campbell River, British Columbia. Kennedy, outside tip. Oh my goodness, Josh Taylor runs over a chair. Great save. Gets the tool though. A lot of work. And Josh Taylor a little bit shaken up after that one. 4-3 is your score, Matt Babineau. At the service stripe now. Blocked by the Saints. Finds itself on an inside tool. 4-4 is your score. Here in the third set. Dean Zakari looking to break this tie right now. Kennedy. Sertosi, a little awkward. Didn't know exactly where he wanted that one. Miscommunication, and that's going to go in favor of the Mohawk Mountaineers. Mohawk has a chance to end this game if they can close out this set. They have a 5-4 lead right now. As Zakari finds himself at the service stripe. Kennedy. Outside Crowder. Kennedy once again. Aliwi! Oh my goodness, the team loves that. The bench erupts, and so does the players on the court. Aliwi, ain't he something special? He's going to find himself at the service stripe. Team definitely has a great connection with the first-year player. Making some of his first plays of the entire season. Here in this third set from service stripe. Great serve. Crowder outside Taylor. A little bit of a touch. Has to find that back line. Kennedy. Outside Weeby. Taylor. Finds the inside of the net. A little bit of an awkward touch. That's a specialty of Josh Taylor. I mean, obviously a big playmaker for this team, but he knows how to get this misdirection. As that one falls just wide. Weeby unable to get that one over. 7-6 is your score in favor of the Mohawk Mountaineers. Mohawk just able to get that one over. Kennedy outside Babineau. Unable to control that one. That one goes on the other side of the scores booth. Sean Kennedy at the stripe now, 7-7 game. Dug off the ground by Ho there. Direct blocked at the line. One of the shorter players on the team, Matt Babineau. You typically don't see that. Josh Taylor outside. Has to get that one over safely. He didn't feel too comfortable with that. Whoa! Keeping this game alive. 9-7. These guys want to play another set, that's for sure. But again, they need to be able to stay composed when they have a lead. That's been the issue from before. Josh Taylor now, good serve. Hard to handle by Ruiz. Walls. We're going to get a discussion right now. Net violation. As the official's going to call a net violation, we're knotted up now at 9. Josh Taylor. Great serve, a little bit of spin on that one. Setting up, it's still alive. Good redemption there by Mohawk. Oh, set down once again. Playing a little bit of ping pong there. And just like that, the 2-point lead for the Saints turned into a 1-point deficit. Loving what I'm seeing from these new players on the floor right now. These substitutes definitely doing what they need to do to keep this game alive. Josh Taylor, 3 consecutive serves. Kennedy. Babineau. Off the hands of Josh Taylor. I think he would have been better off letting that one go. And he knows it. He knows it. Communicating that with his team right now. Seeing Jonas Otosi on the bench. I mean, he's ready to sub back in. Calvin Kett. We haven't seen Cale Wilkinson in a good minute. I mean, not sure exactly what's going on there, but one of the better players on this Saints roster, and everybody knows it. Finding the fingertips of Walls. The lead is now 1 once again. Favor the Mountaineers. Jesse Smith looking to help his team put this one away. So they have a 1-point lead. Kennedy outside. Hit a little bit too aggressively. Would have liked to have seen that set a little bit closer to the net if you're going to do a hit with such aggression, you know? I mean, it was pretty close to the net. He hit it forward, but nonetheless, good idea, poor execution. And that's been the story all day for the Saints. Outside Babineau. Light touch. Can do it again. Finds the back left corner. Babineau playing an amazing game so far here in this third set. Zach Walls at the service right now. Walls. Crowder. Outside Jurek. No touch there. St. Clair's knotted up this game. We're tied at 12. Zach Walls. Out of Amherstburg, Ontario. Attended Villanova High School here in Windsor. Blocked at the line. And that's going to be a net violation, or a lift, mind you. 13-12. St. Clair leads once again. A couple of lead changes here in this third set. We're going to see it right here. Yeah, just as he tried to recover, referee's going to call a lift. Not an Uber. Walls into the net, and it's like it never happened. 13-13. Ruiz checks into the game now. And Jurek at that service line. Outstanding game so far by the Mohawk Mountaineers. All credit to them and these young players. And a great, little bit of lucky serve. But you'll take it as they can get them. Yeah, just over that line. Alex Jurek. Trying to reach that 15-point mark. That one ain't coming back. Off the hands of Alaliwi. Alaliwi attended Holy Names High School. Got a couple buddies that went there. Good high school. And they produce amazing athletes. Off the floor. And he redeems himself. Alaliwi. 6'4" dominance right there. getting some of his first touches of the season. The lead is 1 now with Matt Babineau at the service stripe. Great serve, Jordan Ho off the floor. Kennedy outside Babineau finds the tool. 15-15, and we're knotted up here in this third set. Speaking of close games, I mean, you know, all of these sets really could have gone either way, especially that second set with St. Clair leading in most of them, but Mohawk just has they have the win factor right now as St. Clair is going to get that point, breaking this tie. But I want to go over to St. Clair's game last week up against Fanshawe. They started off with a 25-21 win in the first set, 20-25 in the second set, 25-19 win in the third set. They dropped it 26-24 in the fourth, and lost by 2, 16-14 in that fifth and final set. So closing out games has been an issue, as Mohawk's going to call a timeout. St. Clair needing to find some momentum. I feel like that's been a big issue. They haven't found that hype factor, that we're in this game. Even when they're winning, sometimes it almost feels like St. Clair just doesn't feel like they're in this game. Mohawk, on the other hand, they're staying composed, they're staying together. Perfect synergy so far in these first 2 sets from Mohawk. St. Clair trying to replicate that right now. To check the box score from before, 25-20, 25-23, and right now 17-15 in favor of the St. Clair Saints. We're going to step aside just for a second. Don't go anywhere. OCAA men's volleyball. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Sportsplex here in Windsor, Ontario for OCAA men's volleyball. We're getting set just out of this timeout, and going to be a net violation. Saw a little bit of jiggle on the net. I think that was Alaliwi. Hands a little bit too close to the cookie jar. Yeah, you just see that tiny, tiny tap right there. It's going to be enough. Officials all over that today, as the lead is now 1 for the Saints. Sakari. Great dig off the floor. Ho. Kennedy. Sertosi finds that donut on the floor. 18-16. Great play there by Sertosi. We still have yet to see Cale Wilkinson. I mean, he's sitting up. Looks healthy as can be, but coach is making a decision not to have him in the game right now. Maybe he might come around if we see a 4th set. St. Clair hoping for one of those. Beautiful strike down the line. Amazing play there by Andrew Majiris. Yeah, that finds that little bit of that inside stripe. Beautiful replay. Our guys in the back doing an amazing job today for the whole We Digital crew. As we're going to see Delos Reyes check back into the game. He's at the service stripe now. Trying to cut this lead down. The lead is 1. Ruiz doesn't feel like he needed to touch that one. That one landed in pretty comfortably. Delos Reyes spots that back corner. Once again, the joust. Could have touched it again. Kennedy loses that one. Mohawk. You see this joust at the line. Strong men. I think that was Jurak. This Mohawk team not going away. Kennedy outside, back line. Zakari outside, way too long. Tied at 19. Good set. But St. Clair knew that wasn't one that they wanted to touch. Jonas Ortosi at the service stripe now. Good serve. A little bit of spin on that one. Outside Taylor. Strong off the fingertips of Walls. Taylor playing an absolutely outstanding game so far. As he finds the seam, a little bit of a tip off of the finger there. At the service stripe right now. Brecken Morrison. Back line, that one lands just out of bounds. Sean Kennedy finds himself at the service stripe right now. 20-20 is your score. And St. Clair looking a little bit discombobulated right now. Mohawk pouncing all over that. Substitution into the game right now. Kianelke seems to take a couple of serves. Might be a service specialist, but nonetheless, at a Winnipeg, Manitoba. Saying hello to everybody watching from Manitoba. Or once again, just anywhere outside of Windsor. 21-21. Elke not able to get that one over the line. Brendan Wiebe. Sends that one long. Mohawk 3 points away from setting this game over. Another substitution right now. Thomas Kuzma, we're seeing him for the first time out of Grimsby, Ontario. Dug up outside, Babineau. Off the floor, Wiebe. Outside. Morrison blocked at the line. That was Walls. Great part of this transition offense to defense. Walls, every time. You can trust him. The 6'5" player finds himself at the stripe. We're knotted up at 22. A little lucky on the tip there. Outside, finds his spot on the floor, 23-22. Timeout called by Coach Sean Rome. 2 points away from forcing this game point, actually. Up next, we got OCAA women's volleyball coming up at an estimated 3 p.m. Eastern time. Might start a little bit earlier, but St. Clair Saints will be taking on the Mohawk Mountaineers women's team. You can catch that on the St. Clair YouTube channel. Mind you, we'd appreciate any subscriptions, comments, anything. And if that chat room's open, if you guys have a player of the game prediction, we'd love to hear it. So who do you guys think has been the player of the game? Right now, there's a couple of candidates. I'm loving the game of Josh Taylor right now. There's been a couple sneaky ones as well. I think Alex Jurak has been amazing as well. And we're going to transition over to that St. Clair side. Zach Walls also playing a great game. Although his team is down, staying close in every single one of these sets. They've reached the 20-point mark in 3 consecutive sets. Brecken Morrison, also a sneaky name. But I think I might give it to Alex Jurak as he finds himself at the service stripe. Kennedy, outside. Light touch. 3 people diving. Goes St. Clair's way. We're knotted back up at 23 right now. Alaliwi. He doesn't want to go home yet. I'm pretty sure most of the men's team stays to watch the women's team, but nonetheless, they don't want this game to be over. Babineau, great serve. Ho finds that one outside. Zakari forcing the game point. 24-23. A chance to put this one away. Dean Zakari. Good serve down low. Has to dig that one on the floor. Sertosi keeping it alive is Weeby. Alaliwi. Knotted up at 24. Gonna force a break here. Alaliwi puts it exactly where he wants it. Finds a tool right off the hands. 24-24. Alaliwi was about to take that serve himself, but they're gonna put Bardwash in. Service specialist. Getting some good playing time in. Trying to break and force a set point for St. Clair here in this third set. Bardwaj. Good serve. Morrison. Blocked. Ruiz. Set up Weeby on the outside. Mohawk just has to play this one safely. Kennedy. Back outside. Weeby finds his spot on the floor. Set point force St. Clair. 25-24. St. Clair staying alive in this one. Bardwaj trying to extend this to a fourth set. You see there on the replay, Jordan Ho left all alone, and that's going to force a timeout. Trying to get his troops ready for this set point. It's Coach Brad McClure. Don't go anywhere. We have OCAA men's volleyball when we come back here on We Digital. And we're back here at the Sportsplex here in Windsor, Ontario. Set point coming up for the Saints, trying to claim their first set of the match so far. 25-20 in the first set, 25-23 in the second set, and it's currently 25-24. You got to win by 2 though, as Bardwaj finds himself at the service stripe. It's up, just over, good serve. Sertosi dunks that one back down. We're going to a fourth set. We're going to find a fourth set. We're going to switch sides right when we come back. Trying to catch that replay here. Bardwaj just gets it over. Great serve just along that line of the net. Mishandled, and Sertosi does what he does best, abusing that 6'6" frame. We'll catch you guys right here for the action of this fourth set. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here into the Sportsplex here in Windsor, Ontario. We have a great volleyball game on hand for you right now. Score is 2-1 in the sets in favor of the Mountaineers, but St. Clair finding a way to claw back into this one, looking to force that fourth and fifth set. They're going to need it to go the distance. They're going to want to pull out a win here on home court. They're undefeated on home court, barring the fact that, they played only one game on this home court. So, looking to keep that home streak alive. Once again, they dropped a game to Fanshawe earlier this week in a very close game. Mohawk, on the other hand, winning very comfortably up against Sheridan. Looked a little bit comfortable after two, but St. Clair, these substitutes have had an outstanding game. Outstanding game from Aliwi right now, as the team loves his play. Serve is up by Morrison. Ruiz off the floor. Kennedy, Walls mishandles it, but Aliwi's right there. Morrison, outside Taylor. Taylor disputing with the ref. He thinks that they got a fingertip on that. Ref not budging. Gonna see this on the replay. Oh, that might have touched something. Taylor might have an argument. Nonetheless, referee. There's a ball on the court. Kennedy gonna get a second shot at that serve. Just over to Taylor. Morrison. Outside. Mishandled there by Thomas Kuzma. St. Clair off to a 2-0 lead, but as you've seen so far, no lead is comfortable, especially if you're St. Clair. Mohawk has done a great job coming back so far. Morrison. Outside. Weeby. Back line. Aliwi. And you can just see it in the St. Clair bench. They love every time that this young player makes a play. Loving the work that they've been seeing from Weeby and Aliwi so far. Kennedy stays at the stripe, and that one sails. That one would be out of bounds in basketball as well. Didn't get quite the grip he wanted. First points for the Mountaineers coming off a service error. Taylor, solid serve, good spin on it. That one propels itself off the top of the net. A little bit of contact on the antenna. And the return game coming back to haunt the St. Clair Saints so far. Kennedy didn't even think he could have a play on that. Maybe a solid jump could have saved it, but would have been a scramble. 3-2 is your score. Taylor looking to even it up, but he's just going to do more damage. Number 16, Brandon Weeby. Attended Leamington District High School. Another school which produces some great athletes. Taylor. Outside, and that one doesn't land in. Had the whole stadium eyes on that corner. Got very close, but no cigar. See here on the replay, no, that one landed pretty comfortably out. 4-3 is your score. We're going to find Kuzma at the line. Great serve, dug off of the floor. Walls. He knows exactly where he wants it and when he wants it. Mohawk, on the other hand, still trying to find a way to counter what he has to offer. Great hit. They know their game plan, that's for sure. Walls. Over for Zakari. Zakari. Light tap over. Aliwi. Soft touch. Oh, outside. Touch there by Aliwi. And a great play there by Jurak. 5-4 is the score. Underrated play there to save it by Brecken Morrison. Setter / libero. That one finds the net. 6-4, St. Clair off to a 6-4 lead here in this fourth set. Matt Babineau. Almost tips over the net, but not enough heat on that. Mohawk will return that back to that service stripe. Zakari looking to tie this game up right now. 1 point lead for the Saints. That one into the net, going service error for service error right now. Something that both teams are going to need to correct if they could want to close this set out, or even this match if you're Mohawk. Aliwi at the service stripe now. Finds the net slightly. 3 players diving for the Saints there, make it 4. Morrison, advantage. Solid touch. Found a couple fingertips of the St. Clair line. Coach Sean Riom getting his players together as the Mountaineers are looking to tie this game up right now. 7-6. Just over the net, little floater. Weeby blocked. Advantage St. Clair though. Good possession. Weeby once again. Gonna be a hard gather. Taylor just needs to play this one safe. Advantage St. Clair once again. Outside Weeby. Great play off the floor there by Jurak. Kennedy. Outside Weeby again. Has to play this one safe. Morrison, good rally going on here. Back line, nobody touched it. Good eyes all around by the Saints. 8-6 is your score. Some substitutions going on right now. Walls coming in for Satosi, going size for size right now. And on the other end, Jordan Ho. He's going to come in for Mergias. Satosi. Right into the net. St. Clair got to clean that one up. Ruiz going to sub in. Satosi comes in, and he comes out. Brecken Morrison. They've trailed most of this 4th set. But they've also trailed for a lot of this game as well. They keep finding a way to come back. Great serve. Tips off the net. Kennedy. Outside Walls. Didn't want net there. Oh my goodness, with force. Dean Zakari is cooking right now. And he's dishing out some heat. Brecken Morrison. Trying to keep this streak of the line going. 8-8, trying to break this tie finally. Weeby off the outside of that left palm. Not exactly where he wanted it, but that's going to go down as an ace in favor of the Mohawk Mountaineers. A little bit hard to gather that one. Was Weeby. Streak continues here for Brecken Morrison. And it ends. Now it's going to be 9-9. St. Clair now looking to break the tie. They get a shot at the service stripe. This is Sean Kennedy. Sent to Belmont Secondary in Victoria, British Columbia. Blocked at the line. Redeemed by Mohawk. Josh Taylor just having to get that one over safely, and a miscommunication right in the gut by St. Clair. Aliwi, Kennedy, and it looked like Ruiz had this kind of triangle, and nobody knew what to do. They all heard footsteps and no real action. And an ace there. Josh Taylor finds the back stripe. From stripe to stripe, the score is 11-9. Mohawk trying to pull away here in this 4th set. Gonna get a replay of that serve. Right in there, finds that left seam. Another error here by the Saints, and that one's gonna go down as another ace, back-to-back. Timeout, St. Clair definitely needed. Coach Sean Riom needing to get the boys together right now. So they call their first timeout of the set. Trying to force that 5th and final set. We got OCAA men's volleyball still going. We're gonna take a step aside, Don't go anywhere. You're watching OCAA Men's Volleyball here on We Digital. Welcome back. We're coming just out of a timeout right now. 12-9 is your score in favor of the Mohawk Mountaineers. Josh Taylor finds himself at the stripe. He's on a 2-point ace streak right now. And that's going to end with a service error. 2 for 1. He'll take it all day, but nonetheless, would have liked to have that point back. Both teams reaching the double-digit mark here in this fourth set. It's going to bring Wiebe to the line. Brandon Wiebe coming in at 6'6", one of the taller players on the team. Outside, Sakari just has to get that one over safely. For Walls, blocked at the line, and it's going to land out. Communication there. Babineau almost touched that. You like to see Brandon Wiebe having some communication with his team. You'll see here on the replay, Babineau kind of reaching for it. Gets alerted by his team. We love to see that. Good chemistry there from the front and the back line. Great serve there as well from Wiebe. Blocked, just lands inside. 13-11, the women's team for Mohawk cheering the men's team on with an extended bench off to our right side. They can't wait to get this game started up. I don't think it's going to start at 3 o'clock. Might get a 3:15 start time, but we'll have to see as Kuzma serves that one into the net. 13-12. The lead is now 1. Zach Walls looking to tie this one up. And the serve. Low serve, and it hits the official. Hopefully he's okay. It's a volleyball. They don't hurt. As Zach Walls manages to tie it. A very hard return. And you saw right there, Morrison. A little bit too long for his liking. Zach Walls, amazing serve. Had some spin on it. Great handle too there by Zakari. Wiebe back line. Aliwi outside. Taylor outside. Blocked at the line. Good rally going on here. Blocked again. Trying to save it was Jurak. Impossible. And that one's going to go in favor of the Saints. They have the lead once again. Couple of lead changes going on here in this fourth set as St. Clair is looking to force a fifth and final set. Down 2-0, but storybook's not over. Still to be written. What will Zach Walls write? Great serve. Blocked at the line, and it lands inside. They're going to catch the line. Babineau loving what he's seeing. Catch this one on the replay. Outside hit Zakari. And that one just catches the line. You saw it right there on the replay. Good call there by the official. Yep. And St. Clair goes up 2. Walls oversails it. Got to play some cautious volleyball here down the line. As we're knotted up here at 15. Babineau blocked. Oh, tried to keep that one alive. Knotted up here at 15. As service strike, Jurak. Kennedy. Blocked, but a good return. He's on the other side of the net. Oh my goodness. What are they gonna call that? They have to call that. Didn't end up getting back on the other side of the antenna. Love the effort there, but Mohawks blocking game. Oh, he went under the net to get that one. Right up the net, pancake. No one there to help him out. 17-15. Mohawks starting to feel it. And Coach Sean Rio starting to feel a timeout right now. Score is 17-15. Gonna take a short break. Catch you right back outside of this timeout here on We Digital. Welcome back, coming outside of this timeout. Momentum all in favor of the Mountaineers right now. Got to catch Alex Jurek at the line. Trying to extend this 2-point lead that they have right now. St. Clair trying to force a fifth and final set. Aliwi touches one he probably shouldn't have touched. No, he was right to touch that, but that was just a beautiful serve there by Jurek. Looking to double up, 3-point lead here for the Mountaineers. Good dig off the floor. Outside Aliwi. Little tip block slows that one down for the Mountaineers. Blocked at the line, Aliwi. Keeping it alive. Blocked at the line, oh my goodness. Marziris. Great block at the line. And now we've got Jurek serving. Trying to reach that 20-point mark now. Way too far. The lead is 3. St. Clair gonna have to capitalize on the serving game if they want to come back in this one. They need 9. Mohawk leading 6. Great serve there by Babineau. Morrison blocked at the line, and that one's gonna land inside. Jonas Sartosi not able to flatten out. Substitution going on. Cole Crowder coming in for Alex Jurek. Cole Crowder out of Milton, Ontario, third-year player. Mohawk Mountaineers ladies team ready to get underway after this game. They're going to have about a 20-minute break in between. Sartosi ends up finding the inside of the net. Very similar to what Mohawk had just done. The lead is now 3. And another service error, Aliwi. Got to make sure they execute in all phases right now. Mohawk ladies team loving what they're seeing right now. Delos Reyes Soft serve. Good set. Back to Babineau. Oh my goodness, misdirection right there. Sean Kennedy, great play. Wow, great play there by Sean Kennedy. Watch this one on the replay. He had everybody jumping to the right. Decided to go left. That set there by Sean Kennedy made that play. So Tosi subbing out right now. Arthur Richard back into the game. One thing to note, we have not seen Cale Wilkinson since about halfway through that second set. Another name is Calvin Kett. Trying to go with this younger squad right now. Just doesn't seem to be impressed with the veterans today. Dug off the floor. Lightly hit. Taylor knows what's happening. Points at his brain. He's like, I thought about that. 200 IQ play right there. He knows. He's pointing to his head. He knows. Outstanding player by the Mohawk Mountaineers. They have a great squad. Good bench depth as well. A lot of relief playing right now, but right now the story has been the Mohawk starters up against the reserves for the St. Clair Saints. Curious to see if they bring in any of the starting players if this reaches a fifth set. As St. Clair gets one more point closer to it, 19 points for them, 22 for the Mohawk Mountaineers. So it's Sean Kennedy at the stripe, and they're going to have a near perfect serving game. They want to stay alive in this one. That one lands out. I like the idea, just a little bit too far. The target score is 2 for the Mountaineers here. There's one of the deadliest servers in the OCAA in Josh Taylor. Gets to the line. Louis. Walls. Good palm there by Taylor in the back line. Safely hit. Taylor. That one saved by Zakari. And that one sails wide. It was going to be hard for Mohawk to get back into that point, but they did a great job scuffling up. Keon Elke substituting into the game right now for Taylor. Brandon Wiebe can't afford a service error right now if you're St. Clair. And that's been the story so far in this game. Right into the net. Coach Sean Riom. Not a good look. He might call a timeout here. Don't think he will. He's just fine with the setup that he has right now. Game point Mohawk. Kuzma at the service stripe. Good serve. Kennedy outside. And that one tooled out. Net violation. Mohawk wins the game on a net violation. 25-20. 3-1 is your final score at the end of the fourth set. Referee knew what he was calling there. 25-20, 25-23, 26-24, and 25-20 are your scores. We're going to get a look at this net violation here. If we could slow it down. Maybe we got to get another look at that from this back angle. Now, did his hand touch that on the way down? It did. You see that right on the black of the net. Great call there by the official. And that's how Mohawk's going to come out with a win in this game. They move to 3-1. St. Clair falls to 1-3. We're going to come back with Dominic Papa. He's going to have an interview with Coach Sean Rome. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on We Digital.
Great work, fellas. Great work, fellas.
We continue on here at the Sportsplex, our post-game report with the head coach of the St. Clair Saints men's volleyball squad, Coach Sean Riem, in his 7th season with the team. His team falls to 1-3 after the defeat here this afternoon against Mohawk. Coach Riem, thanks for doing this with us. Well, just a quick overview of the game, what you saw today.
Mohawk played well. We played well in spurts.
A loud message was sent in set 3. Obviously, you weren't happy with your starters. You went with your bench. Thought they played well, but how tough was it for you to make that decision? And you know, I mean, it's the first time you ever done something like that?
Yeah, it's probably the first time I've had to make a big move like that, but we've known from probably like a month now, we have some serious talent all over our bench. So like, I don't think it's not an unreasonable move. Like, they didn't play any worse than the other group. So like, if someone doesn't have it one day, someone else might.
What were you disappointed with your starters? What was disappointing to you today?
It came out very flat.
Yeah.
Like, the atmosphere was, like, it seemed like maybe 1 or 2 guys actually wanted to win.
Yeah.
And so I'll put on guys who want to win.
Yeah, I like that. That's a great idea. The guys that came on the floor, let's talk about them for just a moment, if we could, Coach. How you thought they performed, and obviously it's a situation that's it happens so fast that you almost don't have time to react to it. You just got to go in and play your game. What did you think of the players that came onto the floor?
I think they played awesome. All things considered, like, probably nervous. It's their first league game, first home game, and like, they performed. They won a set. So like, I can't complain about much. No,
I thought they played well. Also, Coach, last year, great playoff run, unbelievable playoff run. And I'm sure you were hoping to carry some of that into this year. The slow start, 1-3. Maybe what's missing and what's not happening? What didn't carry over from that last year playoff run?
If I knew we wouldn't be here.
Good enough, Coach. Yeah, I get it. Well, no. I mean, we're still early in the season, 1-3. No time to panic yet. What do you got to start seeing, I guess? What do you hope to see in the next couple of games to get this thing turned around?
I hope to see us play well for 3 sets.
Yeah.
Like, Redeemer and Fanshawe, we were dominant for 2.5 sets. It's like, we can just do that for 3. We can beat a lot of teams, but I don't know, something's. All right.
Well, we'll let you work with the coach. I know you do have a great team. You've done a great job of recruiting. You've done a great job of developing these guys. Hopefully they get back to that potential where you think they could play, and where I think a lot of us think they could play. But tough one today.
Yeah.
We'll look forward to seeing you again next week, and hopefully we can celebrate a victory there.
Yeah.
Head coach Sean Riem of the St. Clair Saints men's volleyball team. They lose a tough one today against Mohawk. Mohawk, maybe one of the, I'm not going to say a surprise to the start so far, but certainly at 3-1, they've had a good start. The Mountaineers have. Saints fall to 1-3. The women are on the court warming up for their match. We're going to be back in about, I would imagine, 15-20 minutes. Again, we'll have all the action for you. Hudson Hine will have the call for you, and we'll see if we can celebrate a victory for the women Saints volleyball squad. But there's your scores for today with the men. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Again, come back in about 15 or 20 minutes and we'll have more OCA volleyball action. On behalf of everybody here at We Digital, this is Dominic Papa wishing you a great rest of the day.